So people can see us now?
Yes.
Yep.
Alright, cool. Hello,
Okay.
one viewer that is possibly one of us.
That is possibly Dawn as well. So no worries. So I guess we will start recording in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, this is Sudo, your host for the Sanctuary Cast podcast for League of Legends in Southeast Asia. This is episode 9, and joining me today we have a returning guest, one of the GMs, which is GM.Djehuty. We also have our returning co-host, which is Ben Solstice. And we have Jasper Tan, the new guy here, also known as his in-game name, CelestialBeing. So, welcome all of you here once again.
Hello.
Hello.
So, yeah, if everybody's wondering why Aaron has GPL written behind him, because that's the official set which they are on.
Yep, so you guys have caught me right before I'm preparing for the GPL cast.
Yeah,
Yes,
which
with
will
a
be
cute
up
Teemo
at
plushie.
Yep,
with
that's
the
good.
cute Teemo plushie. And this week, actually, we're going to talk about a little bit of what happened last week. So last week, the first week, we had our webcam up, and we were still running through a bit of technical issues, but hopefully we will try to rectify it by this week. And by episode 10, we actually will be hopefully completed with all the technical issues. Now, last week, I did supposedly give away 3 Ramos keychains, but nobody submitted their answers, so nobody got keychains. Which is
So does the
really
prize
sad.
snowball to this episode?
The prize will snowball to this episode. And
Yes.
the prizes for this episode, I'm actually going to show it up here right in front, even though there's like hardly any viewers, too bad. Well, aside 300 shells, I don't know whether Singapore got this or not. The 4 tags from the land party. Did Singapore
yeah,
get it?
Oh,
No?
Yeah, they were designed in Singapore. Yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
it's-
but it was given away at Singapore as well, right?
yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we have the 4 of them, which is Teemo, Tristana, Amumu, and a very weird looking Lulu.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, but Lulu does look a bit weird.
Yeah, Lulu has like a really fat cheek. And not only that, I'm actually going to give away the talent poster and the ribbon
nice.
poster.
nice, sweet.
Those are sweet.
And I don't know whether Singapore had the same bag or not, the talent and Wukong bag.
Yeah, we got
Because-
those back.
Yeah, because Malaysia did not have this.
Oh, how do you get your hands on that then?
Perks of going to the Garena office and casting.
Alright, sweet.
So yeah, we'll be giving all away that, as well as 3 of the Ramos keychains. So basically you have the best of Singapore and Malaysia put together. So for those of you who did miss out on it, this is what you will get. Sorry, I cannot give away Twisted Fate skins because they are locked to each account. So yeah, so that will be up, and later in the short break that we'll be having, we'll be letting you guys know how you can win all of that at once. And it is already confirmed that next week on episode 10, we will be giving away a free keyboard.
Whoa, what kind of keyboard? Is it-
Steel series.
I am not sure of the exact brand of it. Wait, you know what? Dawn, if you're listening to this, Dawn, let me know what's the brand, because it's technically in the office at the moment. Yeah, it's on the Malaysian side office.
Alright, that sounds good.
It's a TT Esport keyboard. So yeah,
TT Sports.
yeah, cool. At least he's listening. Yeah, so that will be given away next week. But on this week, we haven't really gotten to know much about Jasper, aka CelestialBeing. So Jasper, could you give us a bit of an introduction?
Alright, I'm CelestialBeing, and I main the role of a jungler. In fact, I'm a one-trick jungler pony because all I can do is jungle. And other than that, some people probably know me from the forums because I'm a frequent user of the Garena forums, and pretty much that's about it. Other than that, I'm just a regular player like everyone else. Yep.
Now,
No mention
Ben
of
has something to say, yeah.
No mention of Blitzcrank, come on.
Alright, my favorite champion is Blitzcrank, and I used to be a one-trick Blitzcrank pony, whereby I'll go like Blitzcrank or Feet in every ranked game. And some of you might have heard of my video about Blitzcrank, and yeah, I didn't play him for a long time really because Blitzcrank was considered like not suitable for the current meta. So yeah, I'm now a jungler.
So yes, yes,
It's
give it away,
interesting to
please.
know that I used to. It's because of CelestialBeing that I started picking up Blitzcrank, and Blitzcrank is now my most played rank champion.
Really.
Yeah.
I didn't know that CelestialBeing played anything other than Blitzcrank, to be honest.
See, that's how famous your Blitzcrank is. Even I know, like, whenever people say CelestialBeing, I was like, oh, for sure Blitzcrank. Like, yeah, immediate image that pops into my mind.
I should have used a Blitzcrank picture for mine instead of putting my webcam. That'll be better.
Yeah, well, no worries for that. For on this week, the topics, we will be talking a little bit about GPL and the current standings. Then we'll be talking about IPL a little bit as it's about to begin. We also will be talking about runes, and specifically for beginners. We also will be touching on the LAN parties that happen in Malaysia and Singapore, as well as tomorrow that will happen in Kampar. Then finally, we go into a little bit about Jayce, and if we have time, we'll be talking about a few hot fixes and skin types released by North American side. So yeah. On the first topic, which is the GPL standings, we have the main caster from Singapore. You are the main caster, right?
Yes.
Kind of, I guess. If there's such a thing as main caster, yeah. I guess, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we have one of the prominent casters from Singapore here, and we have one derp from Malaysia here. Out of the now 7 weeks that it's happening, it has come up to a very interesting spot where the first two teams are very closely tied, and whenever they meet up against each other, it's a very intense match. And then we have the the third, fourth, and fifth team tied at third place with 5 wins each.
Yep.
What does I mean in the side of commentator, what must go through your mind when how can the whole system end up that way, where the first two teams are close up there at 10 and 11 wins, and the rest are stuck at 5, and then we shall not talk about the 6th one. So yeah.
Okay. So basically, I think the top two teams, the Taipei Assassins and the Singapore Sentinels, I think from looking at their score, you can see they're like way ahead of the pack. The two of them are like basically unstoppable. The only people they get beat by are the Manila Eagles and each other. And the rest of the league, they're pretty much on par right now. I feel there's a lot of swapping of players going around. KLH just recently added Jae Young a couple of weeks ago, and then the Saigon Jokers brought in QTV UMST and Nick Water and Chao Juni as they call him now. So I think the three of them are still like in this transition period, and we haven't really seen what they can actually do. It's going to be quite exciting to see what happens.
Do you think one team will actually pull ahead over the next coming weeks, or do you think it'll be like this fight to the very end between these three teams to claim third spot?
I think there's definitely going to be one of them pulling ahead, because right now they keep switching players, so none of them can actually pull ahead really by a large margin. Once they settle their team lineups, I think it'll become clear who's going to pull ahead. My bet would be on the Saigon Jokers.
Saigon Jokers. Any specific reason why?
Because I've played against their players, namely Nick Water and Juni. I think those guys have the potential to pull the team ahead. Yeah, I think right now we haven't seen them performing very well because their teamwork is kind of weak. But I think now that they pulled in QTV, and once they gel together, I think they'll be a really strong team. They have the individual skill, just not the teamwork there yet.
Okay. So, but on the other hand, like Manila Eagles and Kuala Lumpur Hunters, do you believe they have the individual skill and of the teamwork, or which do you think is actually more important?
Alright, I think the Manila Eagles, they are probably the weakest in individual and team skills. Not to say like they're very bad or whatever, but yeah, I think from their performance in the last couple of games, it's quite clear that they are the weakest. There's no way that I can spin that story. And oh no, sorry, you were saying Manila Eagles. Sorry, I thought for a second you meant Bangkok Titans. I think the Manila Eagles are weak individually, but they seem to be doing a bit better teamwork wise. Yeah, so they do coordinate quite well. For the KL Hunters, I can see the KL Hunters are like making a lot of plays. That means that they know the strategies, but their execution is weak. They seem to mess up a lot. I mean, there was in the last fight against the Saigon Jokers, there was a 5-man Baron that they were doing. I'm not sure if you
Yeah.
guys know. And Alistair just 1v5 walked into the
Yes, walked in
entire
it.
team. I mean, this is a team that has 4 CCs, if I remember correctly. There was a Morgana, there was all sorts of
There's quite
CC.
a few of them, yeah.
Yeah, and there was even Graves Smoke Bomb. So even the last member who didn't have CC has something that can blind you and prevent you from smiting. And 5 of them
Alistair
couldn't
just
stop
walked right
one
in it.
Alistair. Yeah, I mean that they made an excellent play. They made the play to go for Baron when SAJ wasn't ready. I love that move, but then the execution was so painful to watch. Yeah.
I did not watch the replay, but I watched the actual match itself. And it seemed to me like Mixed Waters, Jana's Tornado did damage quite a bit of Baron, and the Zephyr that he threw in from outside definitely contributed to it as well. I guess it's going to come down to like these minuscule, I would say, judgment calls that each of the team has to make, and that will actually determine a lot of what's going to happen in the end. I don't know, for Ben and CelestialBeing, do you guys watch GPL that often? Or are you updated?
I didn't actually watch the game between KLH and Saigon Jokers because I usually just watch games by SDS. But I heard of the Baron that it was a good call, but it just turned out very badly. It might be just bad luck, or as what Djehuty said, bad execution because no one went to stop the Alistair.
Yeah, that's true. Well, in your opinion, Ben and CelestialBeing, any idea who's going to be third spot at the end of the 20 weeks? Djehuty did say that he's rooting for Saigon Jokers to be a third. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to be Saigon Jokers.
Saigon Jokers?
As much
CelestialBeing?
as I would like to root for KLH, I think that Saigon Jokers actually have higher potential. That the Viet's actually not bad, despite all the Viet jokes in our community. Yes. Yes.
I mean,
For me-
that is true, yeah. Go ahead.
Alright, for me, actually I'll go for KL Hunters because I think with the new addition of Jaeyoung, which is the AD carry of the team, their late game is actually extremely strong. And in the early to mid game, they actually have 2 very strong players, which is Goldens and Monkeys. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think with this 3 player, which used to be in
side.
orange, is it? Yeah, if I'm not wrong. Their teamwork, I think they will improve at a much faster rate than Saigon Jokers. So I feel that the third place will go to them at the end of like the 20 weeks.
Actually, I agree with that. I think KL Hunters will go and get third in the end because, like what Djehuty did say, they are shuffling their members at the moment. They are trying out new people, trying out new combinations, and I think once they, pass all the shenanigans, it's going to come down to their final solid team, and I think they would be able to perform because they have pulled out solid plays before, and I guess when it comes up to the wire in the end, they should be able to perform. But then again, we do not know of what the remainder 10 weeks will actually prove for Saigon Jokers to see what's going to come up there. They could pull out magnificent plays as what we have seen already. So yes, that's actually this is going to be an important week for GPL once again. We have TPA going up against SGS. We also, by the end of this week, there would be the determinant of who will get third spot, or at least who will be dropped out into fifth spot.
Yep.
I did a bit of the math. Third and fourth would still be tied, but one person will definitely be moved out to fifth place. So it will hopefully narrow down the top 2 teams in terms of the third placing. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it will be interesting. We're going to see Djehuty. No, Djehuty won't be coming on today, but he'll be coming on tomorrow, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'll be casting the Saturday and Sunday games, and the Saturday match is the one that I think everybody should be looking out for. It's going to be the Taipei Assassins versus the Singapore Sentinels.
Yeah, and then on Sunday I'll be casting IPL as well as the GPL matches on Sunday. So yeah, we shall somehow warp Djehuty and me and put us side by side.
Oh, I think we will be running concurrent streams.
Yeah, it is going to be concurrently,
Yeah.
just like what happened last week as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no worries there. I can either watch the Singapore side or the Malaysian side for the coverage there. It definitely will be very interesting to see these matches A lot will be on stake for the team, so definitely one of the more important weeks to watch out for. We're talking about pro competitions. We're actually going to move on to IPL now. Djehuty, care to tell us what about IPL?
We're going to be doing the IPL matches for, I think we're now trying to determine the top 8 for Singapore, and we're going to be streaming them tomorrow. So the IPL Singapore side, we're going to stream it tomorrow at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. There are 2 matches, both of them are going to be the Singapore Sentinels. So we're assuming that the Singapore Sentinels are going to win both of their matches here. And yeah, it's going to be a bit limited because you can only see from the viewpoint of the Singapore Sentinels, but we're going to be streaming that tomorrow. And I think for Malaysia side, that's on Sunday, right? That's the one that you're handling?
It is on Sunday. We'll be doing it on Jae-Yong's point of view, if I'm not mistaken. And your matches, I think it's at 2, 3, 4. No, it's at 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at 4 p.m. I had to open my email. I'm like, wait, what time am I supposed to be there again? So yeah,
I think that's going to be fun because the winners will be sending one of the teams from the region all the way overseas to take part in the IPL Grand Finals, and that will be cool to see like one of our teams on the world stage. It's always awesome.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be really good out there. But the other thing also, it gives people a fresh start as to, if you're watching GPL before this, you need to follow up what's happening, because most of the time the casters are talking about what happened before, what's currently going to happen now, and things of that sort. But on the side of IPL, it's a fresh match just as it is. So it's something that people can just tune in, and they don't need to have previous knowledge about. They can watch it, for instance, on the specific role which they are focusing on throughout the game, and they can learn it from there. So it gives, I guess, a different sort of viewership for people who want to learn more different things, I guess.
Yeah.
With IPL said, any predictions? Do you think there will be any huge upsets? Like, all of a sudden Singapore Sentinel loses up to a team or something of that sort?
Okay. Honestly, I think the Singapore Sentinels are pretty much a shoo-in for this one. There are some other teams that are quite strong. I think Cryonics and Maxi are in one team with La La Land and some others. Their team, no, theirs is not Nice Young Men. Nice Young Men has Impression and
Impressions,
all.
for Punch, yeah.
But this Cryonics and Maxi team, I think they're the closest. They are the ones who are the closest contenders against the Singapore Sentinels.
Okay. From the Malaysian side, I have no idea. So Go ahead.
I think the KL Hunters are looking pretty good. I had a look through the list of team names, and I don't really recognize many of them. I think 7 Deadly Sins was there.
The Legacy team is there, I know.
The Legacy team is there. But the way I see it, right, if I can play normal games and I can beat your team, then you're probably if I beat you in a normal game, then you're probably not up to scrap to beat the GPL teams.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just
Right, so I'm actually participating in the IPL5. I'm in Exodus team, and of course I'll be rooting for myself because who doesn't want to win? But I played Scream with a couple of teams who are participating in the IPL, and I'm not sure if this team is participating, but it's a team by Micro Latios, and I feel that they have the potential to be the underdogs, because when we played scrims against them, their strategies are always very innovative, and their teamwork is extremely strong. Like, I remember during one of the Everlasting competition, one of the games in the Everlasting competition, they actually managed to beat Sleeping Giants, which was Chowi's team, and that's like probably the second strongest team in Singapore. So for underdogs, I'll be going for either Michael Latios' team or the NYM, which is the Nice Young Men. Yeah.
Right. I think it's important to know that Chowi's team at that time was not in full strength or solar, so they had substitutes. So Chowi's team, I mean, even though they're Sleeping Giants, they're not like the full lineup of them. So, but yeah, Michael Latios, I think a pretty decent player. Yeah, he BM'd me once in a competition. I like that.
Forever etched in the memory.
Forever etched. I will not forget somebody who BMs me in real life at a competition.
You know what's actually currently what people's talking about in the chat? You're saying that Djehuty is staring off into the distance because you're looking at the side.
Oh, because my screen is here. I'm at the GPL setup, and if you watch GPL, you realize that the screens are on the sides. You can't have one in the middle because then it will block the camera.
That's true.
And people are saying that because you're thinking of BB in the distance.
Thanks. So should I do the death stare at the cam?
I don't know. I don't know if BB is actually watching this at the moment, but it would be hilarious if she is. Because even the last time when it was the KL Hunters and Saigon Jokers match, I know that you guys were talking about BB and that is there something going on between you and her?
Oh, yeah.
And she actually wasn't listening to it because she was actually doing work. So yeah.
Oh, you guys were watching the match live, right? At the event, at the LAN party, was it?
Yeah.
Was that
we were
sound?
watching at the event. The thing is, it was really noisy, so we couldn't actually hear you guys. So it was more of watching rather than listening to the match.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, hey, if you guys in KL are watching, then hello to you guys. But then I was thinking like, if your guys are at an event, it's probably too noisy to hear me. But anyways, the reason for that was because I keep giving Kyling crap, I keep going like, yeah, if you were at the Singapore LAN party, you would have heard me like just constantly going like, this is the guy behind the Singapore Sentinels. He's the number one. He's the brains behind them. He's Kai, the unstoppable force link. And then the whole day he was like, oh, Djehuty, that's how it is, huh? That's how it is, huh? You want to do this to me? I'm going to give it to you on the next live stream. And then he came up with the BB thing. Okay.
No worries there. We'll actually be going on to the next topic, which is the purchasing runes for beginners. Now, there's actually been an image posted up. What do you guys think about this image? Do you think it's actually accurate as to what beginners should be getting for their first runes?
So you're referring to the Reddit one, right? The one that's been on Reddit? The flow chart for what runes you should purchase as a beginner?
Yeah, it's called My First League of Legends Rune Page, a beginner's guide. Yeah,
I thought it was pretty helpful.
I'm going to say that they left out something very important, which is do not buy tier 1 and tier 2 runes.
Tier 1 runes are fine.
Tier 1 runes are okay.
Tier 2 runes are crap, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of pointless getting tier 1 or tier 2 runes because by the time you play a little bit more, when you move into the next bracket and you need to scrap all your runes.
No, I mean, if you think about it, tier 1 runes will last you about 200 games. 200 odd games. That's if you have like 50-50 win. Because I think they did the calculation, and to get to level 30, you need like 300 plus games. So for tier 1 runes, they're dirt cheap. They're like super duper cheap.
They're very powerful for their cost.
Yeah. If you look at their cost to effectiveness ratio, they're way better than tier 2 runes. And they last you about 200 plus games. If you're bad at the game and you lose a lot, they're going to last you like 400 or 500 games before you hit level 30.
Yeah,
Someone actually did the math and found that if you were to buy all tier 1 runes and you went on this mass combining spree, you would actually get tier 3 quality runes finally at the end for a lower cost. The only catch being that you can't actually control what stats you
runes,
get.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
that being a big catch.
That's a very big catch.
Yeah.
Let's randomly play the slot machine and see what we can
slot machine, right?
Yeah. CelestialBeing, I mean, when you first started, did you get tier 1 runes or did you wait till you're level 20 before getting tier 3?
I actually started during the closed beta time, so I don't think runes were available during that time.
Runes were not out yet.
Yeah, so
okay.
I went like no runes for all the way till can't really remember. But by the time runes came out, I was already buying tier 3 because I had so many IP at that time. Because during the beta stage, every champion costs 100 IP, and yeah, I just buy every single thing. And by the time they changed the champion price, because when beta phase was over, and I just got so much IP that I just bought tier 3 runes. But when I'm playing Smurf, I don't get tier 1 runes because I don't really think that it's that useful. Like when you look at the numbers, it gives a little bit of advantage, and that's it. I don't really think it helps much.
I don't know. For me, I would recommend the beginner players not to get runes because most of the time they're going to get wrong runes.
Yep.
Or they're not going to understand the role because they don't even have a role yet. They just play anything.
Whatever
There is
can
no
be,
meta. There is no anything. It's like I'll play any and go to the top lane, or I'll take any and try to go to the jungle. And like, oh wait, what? Yeah.
I remember
So
there are some
I-
people who are like, yeah, I remember
So
there are some
very-
people who have like scrollable room pages, and we're like just all laughing at that guy, whom I'm not gonna name him out. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty interesting to see if people at least do follow this. If you are reaching like level 20 and you are thinking of getting proper runes, this could be a good guide for you guys out there. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, I know I do have a bit of delay. I'm the only one from Malaysia, so it's going to be like bad on my connection side, but not to worry about that. We actually will be going on to the more interesting thing, which is where I got all the gears from, which is the LAN parties. Now, since I'm the only Malaysian here who went to the Malaysian side, let's start off with the Singapore side. Pros and cons of it. Now, what is the pros and cons? Boons and banes of it. Yeah, that'd be more like it. CelestialBeing, you went for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the best highlight and the worst highlight.
Alright,
Best highlight, Djehuty. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm not that I'm not that narcissistic.
I think the best part about the LAN party would be, I don't know, I kind of like the game between the public and the Galaxy, because the game went on for quite long. It went on for like 40-50 minutes, and there are a lot of like comments coming from the guy, and then they just didn't want to end because they just want to talk to the girls, and that was hilarious. Yeah, and
what a way to talk to a girl.
they're like talking through the all
Alright.
chat, and they just didn't want to end because they want to talk to the girls. And the public was like pestering them to end faster because they want to play the next game.
I just
Yeah.
have to cut you off there, Djehuty. What are you doing with Teemo putting your finger
I know,
there?
right?
I'm just providing some interesting backdrop to the conversation. But yeah, anyways, that match, I hated that match. I really hated that match because the guys were so fat and they just wouldn't like finish off the girls. I was like, come on, just end the match. They had like at least a 10-15,000 goal lead, and they were like hanging back. Like, okay, no offense to them, but they were playing like women against Galaxy.
And they said they were gentlemen.
Anyway, gentlemen. Yeah.
I mean, if you're a gentleman, you would just finish the match. You wouldn't like torture the girls with an hour-long match.
Don't drag the misery on.
Yeah, I mean, just kill them. I mean, that's the way I see it. If you respect your opponent, then you play at your best, and if they can't take it, then sorry. Respecting your opponent is not like taking it easy on them.
Yep.
That's how I see it.
So that was the pro for Celestial. What about the con? What was the worst thing that happened there?
Worst thing will probably be the lucky draw. That was painful because
Why? What happened to lucky draw?
because for the second lucky draw, which was like 8 plus 9, and there were so many names that were called out, and the recipient wasn't present there, and I was like, me and my friends were there, like, come on, call my name, come on, and in the end, I wasn't that lucky. But okay, seriously, the one major disadvantage, or rather the part whereby Garena I didn't really think Garena handled well, was the crowd management. And because like I think Garena didn't expect such a huge crowd. Like, I went there at 11:30, which is half an hour before the start of the event, and the goodie bag was already all of them were already taken away by those early birds. And the queue wise, like, I heard a lot of people telling me that they can't really see the queue despite the GM like trying to usher the people around. It's either they can't see the queue or that there were too many people cutting queues. Yeah, so there's
Okay.
crowd management, I think, probably.
Okay, Ben. What about yourself? Top highlights and worst highlights of Singapore LAN parties. That is.
I would say the Mando shirt. Yes, I love it. It's awesome. I queued for it, and yeah, when you get it, I only hope that they can release more of such shirts, particularly the Lee Sin one. Yeah.
Okay.
Cons. Okay, exhibition matches. I thought they were pretty interesting and how they played like top 5 fails during the breaks so that people entertain. Cons, I would say, yeah, crowd management. Mostly because the venue felt a little too cramped. That there weren't really clear queue lines. So even when you were not queuing, you just wanted to walk from one spot to another spot. It was so hard to get through the crowd. And then there was a lot of jostling and shoving around. And I think a lot of queue cutting at certain events. So yeah.
Okay.
Personally, I felt that maybe the event could have been held at the expo. That would be a lot better, but maybe cost was an issue for the arena. So yeah, just some feedback.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was pretty crowded there. There was a ton of people, and I do admit that, I think there was more people than the venue could support. But hopefully, when for our second anniversary, when we have more people, we can have a larger venue.
Okay, wait, how many people actually turned up at the Singapore side?
I think it was a couple of thousand. Not all at once, of course, but there were thousands for sure. I mean, judging from the number of like Musketeer Twisted Fate requests we had, there were thousands.
Okay.
I remember you tried to conjure up like so many tiles joke, like no standing on the tiles because it's bad for your feet. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So there was this thing where we had to get people on the carpeted area, because the carpeted area is in the center of the Funan atrium. So I was always like telling people like tiles are bad for your feet. They cause many injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, just trying to make people get onto the carpeting.
I don't know, but for the Malaysian side, if I'm not mistaken, we had 400 plus total people. Now imagine 400 people in a LAN shop.
Ouch.
Oh god, it was insane. I went there, they told us to come at 5 when the registration of the games would start. I reached into the doors at like 5:05, and the line already was so long that by the time I actually registered myself to get my goodie bag, I didn't actually have a bag. That's why I had to go get the other bag. There was no bag left. They were just giving me the buttons like here, a handful, and the posters rolled up like that. And I think 20 or 30 people slightly behind me didn't have anything else. It was completely gone.
Ouch.
I mean, it was stated, I think, for the Singapore one at least we said like first 400, so...
Yeah. I mean, aside that, the Malaysian side, everything was centered around like, on the LAN shop, they took one of the PCs and chugged a like 40-inch monitor there. And that basically was the center point. Now, the LAN shop I think has over 100 over PCs inside, which was fine. No, it has more than that, maybe about 150 to 200 PCs. We only had about 50 PCs or so, and the shop was still in operation, so everybody else was still normally using PCs, and then we have GMs shouting across the shop. I thought it was like really, really messy.
Like some alarm, right?
Yes, I didn't actually want to say that, but it sure sounded that way, and that's why I wasn't supposed to cast GPL last week, but basically Terry Tibbers lost his voice from shouting everything, because when they were calling out people to play the games or the mini games, they were like, Justin! Like, what? Justin what? They're like, Justin Gregory! Like, yeah, then one person would slowly walk there, and imagine throughout the whole hours, he was continuously shouting that way. So
They didn't have any mics? They didn't have
any mics, no, nothing whatsoever.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
that
so
sucked.
and everybody was like crowding around the area, so like even to move, you'd be like, excuse me, until a point you'd be like, you know what, move. Like, I need to walk through.
GTFO.
Yes, I know, right?
That really reminded me. Yeah, that reminded me of the official launch of the Garena party, like 1 year ago.
Oh yes. So crowded, gosh.
We had like 200, 300 people inside Kakabo, which has only like
and
60 computers.
shouting.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, I hopefully for the 2nd year anniversary party, they should just do it in Mid Valley, which is right next to their offices, in one of the the center court, and like that would solve it all. But then again, cost is a factor, so we shall move on beyond that. We actually will be talking about next, which is Jayce. So we finally have some, I wouldn't say confirmation. There's actually no real confirmation about her skills yet. there has been very little information released by Riot itself about their 100th champion, and it already has been 2.5 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, since Draven had been released in NA. No wait, this is the 3rd week, yeah.
Yep.
It's been 3 weeks already, which is a little bit weird for Riot side since they have been, I don't know, it's kind of speeding up how champions are released. Every 2 weeks there's always, you know, artwork release or skills or, you know, the showcase being released, but there has been nothing now for the past 3 weeks, so it's a little 1 week over their period. Any speculations as to why?
I think it's mainly because of the server issues that they've been having. I think if you've been keeping track of North American news, they had like downage, server outage rather,
Yeah,
for 4 to
server
5
outage
days.
for sure.
Yeah, for 4 to
So
5
much
days.
QQ on the forums.
Yeah, a lot of QQ. But I think that delayed their patches, and yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, and basically because of the server downtime, they did give away 10-win IP boost to everyone, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know whether that makes up for it, but Jayce seems to be... I don't know what exactly to put her as. Apparently she's a caster, an AP caster.
It's a he.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
it's a
he.
team. And it's, of course, it's going to be the 100th champion, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why they want to make Jayce extra special. And when they release Jayce, I think it's going to be a pretty big thing. It's the 100th champion, a pretty big milestone for League of Legends.
I don't know. On the side of like Heroes of New Earth, that's the only other thing which I can compare to the 100th champion, which was the twin head dragon being released in Heroes of New Earth. There wasn't huge like advertising or things like that, even on the North American side. But on this side, there seems to be a little bit of a hellbag of information. I do hope that Jayce will turn out to be this really awesome champion, and hopefully people won't be like QQ, too OP, don't play. I'm hoping it's going to be a very fun champion just for the fact that Jayce is able to transform his weapon from a hammer to a kind of crossbow shooting thingy.
Like an energy weapon, right?
Yeah, like an energy weapon, yeah.
So
It's it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to come up from there. The effect of opening a warp gate now to speed up people and your projectiles and things like that. It's going to be a very interesting hero. I don't know how well they will actually stack up against, because we have no numbers yet for Jayce at the moment. It'll be pretty interesting to see once we have that. So yeah. So there's nothing much to talk about Jayce. In the link below in the description, we actually have the link to the video in case you have not seen it yet. The skills that's being out there. There's no voiceover, just the skills being shown. So yeah, you can go check that out.
I think there's Jayce is kind of special. He's the only champion that has range and melee other than Kale. But then again,
Kale is only one skill. So
yeah, Kale only has one skill, and Jayce all 3 of his skills changes when he changes from melee to range mode. So he's got 6 abilities.
Kind of like Troll Warlord from Dota.
In a way, except that Troll's 3 abilities don't really change.
Yeah.
Well, people are saying Nidalee. What about Nidalee? Yeah, technically we have the Cougar form, which is all melee, and then we have Nidalee, which is basically all
Nidalee
melee.
is probably. I guess that's the closest thing that they have.
I don't know, but for me, Nidalee is kind of fallen off the meta. Like, it's quite rare to find really good Nidalee players any longer. Many people have kind of left Nidalee out. So maybe this will be the revamp, and people start playing Nidalee once again once they realize that Jayce is out there as well. I don't know. I'm just speculating at the moment. So yeah. We actually will be talking about a few little things, which is the hot fixes by North American side and the skin types. Now, both of this information actually has been removed. Only the skins is currently still out there. And talking about skins, since we have been seeing a lot of new recent ones, they already came up with a classification of them, which is regular skins. You can buy it all year round. Then we have legacy skins, which will be only available for a limited period of time. So, like which one is this called? I forgot the total name. Sorry, crap. Uh,
Legacy as in like the older skins, like
Yeah, the older skins, correct.
like Viridian Kale and stuff
yeah,
like
like
that.
Viridian. I was looking for like the name of the older skins, and I'm like running through my skin. I'm like, what's the name of the skin? What's the name of the skin?
So
So, yeah,
there's a couple of old.
the older ones out there, and then we obviously have the limited edition that has to do with the specific period it comes out, like during Christmas and things like that. Then we also have like the Pack Jacks, Pack Silver skins. Those are limited edition ones, which definitely are very, very difficult to get your hands on, which I'm really, really sad. I was really hoping to get Pack Silver,
Pack
but
Severe, yes, Pack Severe.
Oh yeah, that was the biggest. Yeah, that was we found out from the North American side that we couldn't give out Pack Silver quite late, so and when that happened, we were like, oh my goodness, there's gonna be like QQ fountains and waterfalls of QQ when people find out that they can't get their hands on Pack Silver, and then but I mean, I think Musketeer Twisted Fate is a pretty awesome skin as well. So
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
it is an pretty awesome skin out there. But I was really hoping for Pack Silver. I was like, ugh. Yeah. Oh well, not to worry. We'll actually be going on a short 5-minute break before we'll come back and wrap up the show. So yes, during the break we were having a question and answer session. So if you do have question and answers to actually ask, you can either leave it in the YouTube comments and we'll get back to you there. Or if you're currently watching this live from the stream, you can just ask us in our chat there. So yes, we're going on break officially now. So yes. Okay, everybody can relax.
oh, okay, so it's muted. Hey,
No, it's not muted. It's not
oh,
muted.
it's not muted. Okay.
It is live.
I was
It's
just gonna
currently
talk
going-
like okay. Good thing that I didn't say like something like Good thing I didn't say anything incriminating.
Yeah. Okay. So we have one question from Don, which is, Djehuty, are you single because he believes he's in love?
Don Murray, are you serious? Okay.
Yes.
I am at the moment, unfortunately. Yes.
Yes.
But,
So the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Are you interested in a possible relationship with Don? Are you open to that?
Am I open to it? I'm open to quite a lot of things, but that is something that I might be close to. Depends. If he goes for
We shall ask, when they are not on air. So, okay, Don, you have a go ahead. So he's open to a lot of things. Whatever that may include, you can find out yourself.
Oh man. How many people are on the stream right now anyways?
We have 17. so-
17.
Okay, alright. That's bad. So most of the people who watch from the video on demand, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. People are saying, can we get a petition to stop Djehuty harming Teemo?
I mean Teemo, okay. I will keep my hands away from Teemo.
Stop
And
foiling
Steph is asking,
Teemo.
are you staring at Salis?
Am I what?
Staring at
I'm just
Salis.
staring at Salis, yeah.
Why would Sailors be here in the GPL room? I'm staring at the screen. So there's the screen here, and there's a screen here, and there's the camera here. That's why I don't look at it all the time.
Okay, yeah, so we got, you can also ask questions for CelestialBeing. He's like awfully quiet out there, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I just came back from school, so I'm like a little bit school lag.
School lag,
School
okay.
lag, jet lag, and school lag.
Yeah.
Fast is saying that Djehuty proves that he's open to homosexuality. Now, we shall not touch on that topic because that's to do with private lives. I don't know what's going on with the Teemo plushie now. Why is Teemo plushie mooning us at the moment?
I'm just showing that this thing is just displaying the product, making sure that people stay interested in it. Once it's
any idea how much the Teemo plushie will actually cost?
Oh man, I have no idea. I've really got no idea on that.
How about
And even if I did, it would be fun.
How about a possible release date? Like when you're gonna sell it?
Possible release date.
Possible month.
Before the end of the year. Definitely before the end of the
Possible.
year. Okay.
Okay.
Months. So how
Oh,
many?
Like 6 months down.
Less than 6 months. That's less than end of the year. A couple of months. Few months.
Okay.
Months. Yeah. So not very long. Sooner than you think. Sooner than you think these things will be available. hopefully, yeah. If everything goes to plan, yeah. So don't hold me for, yeah. Don't hold me
Okay, we
to my
have one
word.
question for Celestial. Celestial, people are asking how much training or how much practice actually goes into being in a team competing in, like, for instance, IPL.
Um, the main thing about being in a team is that you have to play with a lot of people and you have to get recognized by them because how I got into Maxidus team is that he went from 1.8k elo, he dropped to 1.5 and he kept meeting me there, and over the games we have been like opponents, we have become opponents, we have been in the same team, and he feels that I'm a good jungler and I feel that he's a top laner, very good top laner. So that's how like sort of like the chemistry builds up, and uh, afterwards we just like we feel that our teamwork is good. We try to form we form a team. We got a couple more people, and that's how a team is formed basically.
And as for training, like how much training actually goes into it?
For the IPL, is it?
Yeah, for the IPL.
For the IPL, we have played like 20 or slightly more than that scrim matches, and our record isn't really that good because we probably lost like 75% of the scrim matches. Our teamwork isn't really that well, and we keep changing team comps in between. So, training wise, I wouldn't say that we are really doing that. We are really not on the right track. So we are really keeping our fingers crossed for the tomorrow's games. And I think the main reason why we couldn't train as much is because our team leader, which is Maxidus, is having exams while school just reopened for me. So yeah.
People are saying, so sorry, Celeste, to cut you off there. People are actually saying, Djehuty, you're breastfeeding Teemo.
I know, right?
What is up with that? I don't have my mammary glands are not sufficiently filled with nutritious liquid for Teemo.
Last week we had Teddy Tibers do the volley bear dance for us. This week we have Djehuty breastfeeding Teemo. What is happening to the show?
Saley says she's never touching Teemo ever again.
It's only his
Okay.
lips are dirty.
We'll be going off break, but just before we go off break, we are actually going to announce of how you guys can win all the other information, how the other stuff. So once again, I'll quickly run through things. This week on the podcast, what you can win is you can win 300 shells. You can win the 4 buttons that keep falling off from my hands at the moment. The 4 buttons from the LAN party, as well as the ribbon and talent posters. I don't know if you guys can actually see it, but oh well. Yeah. The posters up there, and the bag. I know for the Singapore side is the current. This is the bag, but for the Malaysian side, this is a unique bag. So yeah, all of this can be won by simply you need to like obviously the video that comes up on YouTube. You need to subscribe to our channel, and you need to answer the question. Now, question will be posted up on the Garena threads or at the end of this. So we're going to run through the topics real quick. For our last one before we end the show, because we will be preparing for GPL shortly. So yes.
Yep.
So yeah. The last thing we'll be actually talking about is WCG 2012. Now, there has been not much talk here in Asia about it, but we do see the title selection already has already come up itself, and people want to select the most wanted game for WCG 2012. Do you think people should be mass going out and upvoting, or rather voting for League of Legends? Like on the side of Southeast Asia, there's hardly any news about this. On North American side, we do see that Riot actually has started going out and asking people, if you like League of Legends, if you are a player of League of Legends, go out there and start voting for us as the most wanted game for WCG 2012. So yes. So they have the basic information. We have the voting for casual games, fighting games, FPS, rating, RG, RTS, and MOBA and sports game out there. So yeah.
I don't know about, but no offense to WCG, but every year they keep getting worse and worse, and I don't know like what it's gonna be like this year. But
Every
hopefully, I mean, I did go out there and vote for. Actually, when I tried to vote, the website wasn't working. So, so I tried to vote for League of Legends for WCG 2012, but the website wasn't working. And I have no idea what they're going to be doing in Singapore or Malaysia this year. But they really need to like change things up. Like right now, they're not doing too well.
I'm just gonna say that a couple of years back, maybe 2004, 2005, WCG was viewed as this premier esports competition that everyone wanted to be on because being on it was a big deal. And now I think as time goes by, somehow they just seem to like lost the plot. They're just not as exclusive as before, and people come up with like better competitions like Intel Extreme Masters. And so now that there's so many competitions, WCG just doesn't have that kind of sparkle anymore.
I mean, you're basically not in your prime any longer.
Yeah, and added to the fact that they have all these little hiccups here and there, their website is screwed up. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still remember like last year, the biggest screw up was that they went like the so-called the drama between
Yes, Dignitas and CDE.
yeah that one.
Oh, that was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
I think another reason why WCG is like so-called falling in favor because team games nowadays actually consist of players from different countries, and WCG actually requires players from the same
The
countries.
similar country, yep.
A
Yeah,
restriction and a limitation.
And especially like on the European side where it's like players don't come from the same country, it's very much more difficult there. But on the American side, it's like, okay, everybody's in North America. But on the European side, it becomes a very big question as to like, you need to find specific country players, and it breaks up like, you know, the really good teams that have been playing for a long time.
Yeah.
It affects it a lot, definitely. And definitely for the Asian side, I don't know if anybody will be actually going up there for WCG 2013, 2012 for League of Legends. But yeah, it's going to be country locked again. So I'm not so sure. I guess that's why many people are falling out. Like in IEM, they actually allow teams to participate rather than countries. So like, yeah, like IEM, Hanover, Anaheim, yeah.
Yeah, so
So
they're
yes.
definitely outdated, and they just need to modernize if they want to keep up with the rest of the tournaments that are out there.
Yeah, that is true. Well, we have season 2 to look forward to for League of Legends specifically. That should be really, really intense. I think this is the first time where in season 1 they didn't have Southeast Asia. They had limited countries, but this time it's a lot more countries, a lot more regions that's actually open to. So the competition should be more overall.
Another story took place actually. Season 1.
Yep. Yep.
So that was third place out of 4 teams, but they still beat China, which was
I know, right?
yeah. So
Yeah. I think what was interesting is that there was actually a standings of League of Legends. I'm actually going to sidetrack now for like 1 minute. There's a standing of League of Legends teams at the moment.
Our ratings, right?
In the top
forgot the
10, I
time.
think.
is it the one?
It was posted up on our forums before this.
Yeah, it's put on our forums.
Yeah, and TSM was like leading up there, and then we also have IPL5 that's I think 5th at the moment or 4th.
And Singapore
That beat
Sentinels
out
were the winner of
Dignitas.
the match.
And Singapore Sentinels is also in the up and coming list. So it's definitely a great thing for League of Legends in here in Southeast Asia. With the introduction of the podcast and live streams that's actually going on, I think the community is definitely going to pick up pace. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next 1 year, which is actually why, you know, I started with the podcast and why we're actually starting to do this more on a regular basis. And with that, we have actually run off all our topics for this week. So yes, this is basically the end. So yes, almost with the finger. Wow.
I don't know, I'm just like
It's like all of a sudden, like a finger, like whoa, what?
if you have a green screen in your at home, it's pretty fun to fool around with. Yeah, you get like you do. Yeah, everybody who sits in this seat in the office always does weird stuff just because there's a green screen behind us.
Okay, so yeah, I'd like to thank our guest, CelestialBeing Jasper, for coming on the show. Definitely, it was interesting to have you on, having your input, and all the best for your matches coming up tomorrow, I believe, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely we'll be seeing what's going to happen there, and we'll definitely be tracking your progress, and we'll be talking about it in the up and coming podcast because for sure the IPL tournament is definitely going to affect the Southeast Asian region, the Singapore and Malaysia side. So all the best once again to you and your team. Hopefully you do really well and we get to talk and have you again on the show. So yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Djehuty, for coming on the show. I know you are busy doing your GPL work and things of that sort.
Yeah.
You have a special request. Don wants you to call him personally so you can talk about your bromance relationship or whatever that it's going to be. So yes, you can do that after the show. And thank you once again for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
No worries. The final question for you to win all that things today is you need to. I haven't actually thought about this yet. Yikes. Let's see.
Like, comment, and subscribe. You know, the usual thing.
The like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, but okay. The question is, you need to feature all the champions that's actually available here. So on the buttons, there are 4 champions. Okay, the name of the champions and the name of the champions that's on the posters, the 2 posters. So if you've been keeping up, you know what's that. And the champions that are on the back. So yeah. So if you list out all the names of the champions, and you PM me on the forums, that's the only way you're going to get it. If you PM me on the forums, I'll leave a thread out there. We'll send over everything to you. So yeah, whether it's Singapore or Malaysia. If you're in Thailand or Vietnam or Philippines, we may have a little bit difficulty, but we'll work something out, not to worry. So yeah, this is the end of the show. Thank you guys for watching, and this is episode 9. Your host, Sudo, signing off.